Hello and welcome to SDSU Live, a live video production of San Diego State University News Center, your source for SDSU news. I'm your host, Lorena Nava-Ruggiero, and today we're going to speak with participants in the Hansen Summer Institute for World Peace. Our guests today are Ron B., director, Mohammed, a student from a Palestinian student, and then Etemayer, an Israeli student. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Ron, could you just tell us a little bit, what is the Hansen Summer Institute?
It's a 3-week institute here at San Diego State where we have representatives from 16 countries, including 5 San Diego State students. Students live together, work together, learn about conflict resolution, build a social network of their own for the future, put a face behind Facebook, if you will.
What kind of activities have you participants and you as Ron been able to do this past couple of weeks then, or week and a half I should say?
Well, what have you guys been doing? You know.
Okay, first of all I would like to thank you for introducing us. Actually we have been here like 1.5 weeks till now, and we have been involved in many lectures and important lectures like leadership and presentation skills, and the first lecture was Whom I Will Be Without My Culture. It was my favorite. It gave the participants the chance to introduce themselves from their own perspectives, to see themselves and to discuss their culture from their own beliefs and values, which differs from each participant. And this was amazing, really. Yeah.
What about you, Etemayer?
I think the most important thing about this program, what I feel till now, is the interaction with other students. We have faces for people from countries that we just heard about or not even heard about, and we listen to the stories, and we have a lot of time spent together. One like to say that this is what the bus ride's meant for, and I tend to agree with that because on the buses we get to talk about things, about ordinary things, about how is dating going in your country, and how is the religion affects your country, and not the things that are on the newspaper topics. And this is a very important asset of this program.
Well, before we continue, I forgot, unfortunately, that you can also give us your live questions. You can send those to sdsulive@gmail.com. Again, that's sdsulive@gmail.com. Or you can send us your questions via Twitter. You can go at SDSU Live or use hashtag SDSU Live. So send in some questions. Let us know what you would like to ask these fine young men, or Ron as well, about the Hansen Institute. Now,
I consider myself a young man too.
Ron is also a young man, excuse me. So as far as your experiences here, you mentioned that learning about some of the students. We do have a question here, and it's what is one of the most surprising or interesting things you've learned from or about one of your fellow participants? I don't know who wants to get started on that.
Okay, actually it's not like one thing that I have learned from one of the participants. It's like many amazing things that you get to know when you meet different participants from 16 different cultures, and to get to know each other. And one of my favorite participants was Daniel. He's from Brazil. Yeah, and
that must have been fun during the soccer game.
Yeah, he's his presence give an extra fun to the soul of the group, and it was really amazing.
How about you, Etemayer?
Well, first it's overwhelming, all the information and all the things we get about a lot of people here, and I need time to process this. But if I need to point out one person that really amazed me, it's my colleague Farah from Uzbekistan. I believe that religion is the main problem in our world, and I think Farah is representing what I do believe about it. He has a Jewish background, and he has a Christian background, and he was raised as Muslim. And he's a great man, and it was really surprising to know that there's an Uzbekistan person that has all of this religion in him, and he's still an ordinary man like we all. I mean, the religion can get along together eventually.
And that's an important thing to show, is that our differences don't necessarily have to separate us. They can bring us together. In terms of the Institute itself, is there a mission statement for the Institute itself, or is it really just bringing these young people together to help create better leaders?
The ultimate mission statement is in the statement that we're the Hansen Summer Institute on Leadership and International Cooperation. We're building a network for a more peaceful future. That's the idea. Dialogue between people leads to better things in the world, and that's our goal.
I think one of the reasons why I applied to the Hansen Institute is because of this reason. They didn't try to pretend that we're going to bring peace to the world, we're going to change the world. I'll say we want to create friendship and we want to create network. They put it out on the table as clear as it is that this is the goal of the program and not something that is bigger and not feasible.
And there's another important thing that I liked about the institute, which it gives the chance of every participant to tell his own story. For example, I don't want to get too deep in this, but regarding like the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, everyone, even regarding like me and Itamar was given the chance to introduce his country, and my introduction regarding my country was totally different. It's actually today was totally different from Itamar's point of view, and the Hansen gives the chance of every participant like to introduce his country on his own beliefs. For me, I was like here the first day, and I was amazed or shocked when someone did not was introduced to someone, and he did not knew about the term Palestine, and I was to explain to him what is Palestine and a little bit about the history and what is the things going on now and where we live now and what's about the socio-economic state and everything. So it gives like the chance of every participant to tell his own story and to respect the other's own story. Yeah.
Now, Ron, the Institute isn't new this year. I think this is the third year now.
How many
students have you guys had participate then?
We have 21 this year. We've had 60 before, so now we have 81 that are now connected via variety of means through a website, through Facebook, through any number of social networking platforms. We now have about 35, 36 countries represented, and a lot of San Diego State students have also participated and been changed by this too.
Great. We actually have another live question, and this sounds like it's for both of you students. What brought you to this program, and did anything in your personal backgrounds raise or lower your expectations for the program itself? I'm sure you want to think about that for a second. So it just sounds like, let's just start off, why were you interested initially in the program?
Well, I'm a undergrad student at the IDC Center in Israel, the Interdisciplinary Center, studying diplomacy and conflict management. So obviously this is an interest of mine. But I think those programs of Track 3, which is people to people, students to students, people has nothing to do with the government, ordinary people bringing their own personal stories. Nowadays, when the world gets smaller, as Samuel Huntington liked to say, it is very important because that's what change. Those are the things that can change the world. I think that Muhammad and I found a lot of things that we agree about, even about the conflict, and of course there's things that we don't agree about. But without these kind of programs, and without this program in particular, those things will never come up. I learned a lot about the Indian-Pakistan conflict, and that, I mean, unfortunately, is not on the news enough around the world. And I think people should learn about it more, and that might help them to reach a solution or get closer to it. Mm-hmm. I think I probably summarized everything.
Well, how about for you, Mohammed? Why did you decide to apply?
Actually, I would like to give a brief introduction of myself. I'm actually a Palestinian student. I was born here, but I was raised till I finished the secondary school in Palestine, in Ramallah. Then after that, I entered the medical school in Jordan. And I believe that everything, every specialty someone finds himself in, there is a kind of leadership in. And he has to learn more in order to lead more, to lead well. The second thing is that let me participate in this program. I've seen many interviews and read about the program from the last year, and I wanted to introduce my culture, my country, and to be introduced to many countries, to be introduced to many cultures, to see how there are similar conflicts in the world, and try to see to open channels of dialogue, since they are the first thing in order to reach a solution. for every conflict.
Now, has the program met, exceeded your expectations? Is it what you thought it would be?
Start with
Yeah, very much indeed. Other than incredible lectures from Holocaust survivor to presentation skills, a lot of new knowledge that I gain about the immigration issues from Mexico's, spending the American Independence Day here, which is a great experience, and being with those wonderful people and sharing the stories. Yes, very much yes, and I'm looking forward to another only week and a half that we have to be here.
Yeah, for me, I guess the same. So we have till now learned a lot about like leadership, communication skills. We have been introduced to many people, and we have learned many important lectures and be involved in workshops about a variety of important topics like, as I said, presentation skills, communication, or cultural issues. Yeah, and I'm sure that yeah, of course, about like the social things, social programs. We celebrated the 4th of July. And we have been to the Mexican border. We have been introduced to the border issue between the United States and Mexico. And I'm sure that there will be still many things to go after, till the end of the program.
Yeah, you guys are only midway through. That makes sense. Just a quick reminder to folks watching, you can tweet your questions via Twitter at SDSU Live, or you can use hashtag SDSU Live, or you can email them to us at sdsulive@gmail.com. Again, that's sdsulive@gmail.com. And we actually have another question, which we actually had talked about earlier before we got started, is have you ever been to the U.S. before, and what has been something that surprised you most about America?
For me, I actually was born here in Pennsylvania, and this is like my third time here. I've been once in New York, and this is my second time. And what was the second question? What was the...
Oh, has there been something that surprised you about America, whether it was your July 4th experience or interacting with other Americans, or maybe things that have surprised you about Southern California since you've been to the U.S. before?
Actually, it's United States. I have like an idea about it before I came here, and it was not like... yeah, but the nice thing that I liked San Diego very much. It's a very wonderful city, calm city, and it's kind of relaxing city, and I guess it's the best city for such a program.
We like to think so. How about you, Tamara?
Well, I've been several times in the United States, mostly working in summer camps in the East Coast. But I think more and more that I visit here, I tend to find that Americans want to learn more, and they want to expand their knowledge. The opinion that there's happens in the Middle East sometimes is that America is like somewhere up there and they know everything and they're strong and they they're in control. But when you reach the people, and my fellows students here at the Hansen Institute, they want to learn, they want to listen, they want to talk, they want to find more things. They're very special people. I mean, to each his own. There's diverse of people in the United States, and you can't really define America as you can define any other country as general. You can generalize it.
And there is another thing that I would like to add. There's one of the participants. He's actually amazing. He's Tucker. He said he believed in something that whenever, like, if I made you all of you wear the same American shirts, I will not recognize that you are non-Americans. And this is actually something good here, that it's like you find diversity of cultures, diversity of people and they think, and everyone has like his own point of view. And
yeah, Tucker Winsell writes for the Daily Aztec, so
okay.
He'll probably write something on this experience too.
Good. Well, and that's a good point that you both make. The U.S. is made up of many people, many cultures, many races, diversity of thought and everything. As far as what the next week and a half brings, what is on the agenda for all the participants, Ron?
My goodness, they have a lot of things coming up. They will be meeting Mayor Sanders. They will be going to a Padres game. They will be going to the zoo. They will be going to the Maritime Museum. They will be getting lectures from immigrants who have rags to riches stories. They will be going to meet some entrepreneurs that work in San Diego, leaders from a variety of walks of life, a mixture of classes, of meeting people, of doing exercises, that increases their leadership skills. We'll end up with a cruise going around San Diego Bay on a hornblower. So that everyone looks forward to, sort of, because they don't want to go. This is an idyllic place, an idyllic situation. The only problem is we'd like to have another 21 students here to add to the enjoyment. We'll have to settle for these 21 remarkable individuals that are all doing so well here.
Yeah, and it is hard to say goodbye. I mean, it's been not necessarily vacation, but you haven't been working really hard the whole time either, because you have the social activities. Is there anything that you two are looking forward to? I mean, just listening to Ron's stuff, I mean, I would love to do all of those things. Where can I sign up?
Well, one thing Ron,
Online.
one thing Ron didn't bring up is the case study about Rwanda.
Yes, that's right.
We have a colleague, a participant in the program. She's from Rwanda, and it's a very interesting story. I happened to write a very big paper about the media role in the genocide in Rwanda, and I'm looking forward to that, to hear what she has to say about the thing that happened there, and some other students from the Hansen Institute. I think this is one of my highlights of the programs.
What about you, Mohammed?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking forward to learn more, since there are still like we have one more week or more, I guess, and I find the lectures are very interesting and amazing, and they are kind of new things you have to learn. Yeah, I guess the more that you learn, the more that you get to know how things go on in every aspect.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, let me see here. We'll do one last call for questions. Again, that's sdsulive@gmail.com or hashtag SDSU Live on Twitter, or use @SDSU Live to send us your questions. Also, if you're in the Ustream chat room, feel free to send me questions there as well. I guess, you know, it sounds like it's been a really big experience. Would you guys say this has kind of been a life-changing experience for you, or maybe, I'm not sure. I mean, how would you gauge this maybe in terms of experience? I mean, you both obviously traveled a lot, you know, been to the US before. You're both obviously leaders, or you would not have been chosen. So, you know, where does this kind of scale so far for you in terms of an experience? Is it a big one for you?
Actually, I've been like many times to like conferences and summer schools. They were mainly about the medical conditions, since I'm a medical student. Yeah, and I've been meeting like many people from different countries and different cultures. But the different thing in this program that it's like 3 weeks. The most of the meetings that I've been, like maximum 7 weeks, which is not enough to get to know all the participants. This is one point. The other point in this program that it like, let's say, talks about important topics. And it's like gathered participants from different countries and even from countries around the conflict, yeah, which is like a hot topic, very hot topic, yeah. And it's whenever you get into this program, you will not like feel comfortable at the beginning, because these topics that they have been discussed from different points of view, yeah. And this is for the first time for me here to hear like different points of view and to tell my own story, of course, yeah. And I guess it's a kind successful program, since it opens the channels of dialogue, which is the first step in understanding what's going on.
I don't have much to say after those wonderful words that Mohammed said, but I think it will change my world and will change my life, in that whenever I hear something about a country, I'll have a person to contact there and get the insight of the story from first impression, and not through the media. I will have the information by the media, but I can ask the person what is really happening there. Is it really like that? And I think when one person will get the information there and it goes around, that will bring a change.
Yeah, as far as your experiences here, do you guys have any hopes of what you'll do in the future with your knowledge that you've gained here? Or is it really just, like Ron said, just having this dialogue for a long-lasting relationships with a lot of your colleagues and your other participants?
For me, I believe that whenever you like get in such summer schools, or you get the opportunity to be introduced to many people and to open networks of cooperation. Yeah, and this is actually the name of the program, which is international cooperation. And yeah, and it's It's also I've forgotten the question.
What do you hope to do in the future with what you've learned here?
Yeah, actually, I believe that whenever you go and learn a new thing, it will add new aspects to your character. So for me, I'm a medical student, and I'm willing to go in medicine and to specialize. Maybe here, it's my United States. Yeah, and I guess that everything that you learn will benefit you one day. You don't know. Yeah.
Good.
Well, in one of the simulations we did, we came out with a phrase that I very tend to love. We said in order to have communication between cultures, you have to have open-minded knowledge, and I think it turns bigger and bigger as long as we're here, because I think before I'm gonna approach someone, doesn't matter where and whom and in what circumstances, I will try to learn more about him as a person, and not what I think that I know about him. And that's what I'm going to take with me to the future, wherever my future will take me to.
Very good. Well, I think that's all the time we have today. Ron, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say. I know we kind of focused on these participants, but I don't know if there's any last words that you would like to share about the Hansen Institute or our work here at SDSU, because obviously the university helps sponsor the program as well.
Well, if you're interested in the program, you can look at the website, which is hansensummerinstitute.org. And we also will be with you, I guess, next week with some participants from Pakistan, India, and Afghanistan.
That's correct.
So we're looking forward to continuing this dialogue with the community and amongst ourselves.
I wanna finish this with one sentence to thank Ron B for giving us this opportunity, and everyone else has something to do with it, if it's in the background, or Bonnie Lam that's coordinating. It's a great experience, and it's very important to the world nowadays to have those kinds of experiences. And I think I'll speak in behalf of all the participants that I can say we all appreciate it, and there's not enough word that we can say to thank you for that.
You're very, very welcome.
And there's one more thing I would like to add.
Sure.
First of all, we agreed in Hansen to call Ron Uncle Ron.
Uncle Ron.
Yeah, he has been very like our uncle, really. Yeah, and we had the opportunity to discuss with him, even outside the classes, outside everything, even personal things. He was like very understandable and respectful, and I guess he's because he's sitting just beside me, but he's an amazing person.
Good.
And also I would like to thank Bonnie Lam. Yeah, because she was very cooperative, and we call her also Mom Bonnie. Yeah, there's something about her that she makes our life easy. And this Hansen, whatever we ask, she just be very cooperative to apply for us.
Very good. Well, Ron, it sounds like you've got quite the large family now.
Yes, and growing, as it turns out. So, but I don't mind.
Good. Well, again, unfortunately, this is all the time we have, folks. We will put up the Hansen Institute website on our show notes later this week, and join us again next week, Wednesday at noon, where we will be speaking with Ron and some other students again. Again, you've been watching SDSU Live, a live video production of San Diego State University News Center, your source for SDSU News. I'm Lorena Nava-Ruggiero, and thanks again for joining us. We hope you click in next time.